Hey everyone, welcome back to English Podcast Flow. I'm Frank.
And I'm Alice. We're so glad you're here with us today.
Today we're going to talk about something that can completely change your English learning journey. The right techniques to self-study English.
This is so important because most of us are learning English on our own, right? We don't always have teachers or classes. We're figuring it out by ourselves.
And the problem is, there's so much bad advice out there. So many people waste years using techniques that don't actually work.
I definitely did that. I spent so much time on things that seemed like studying but weren't actually helping me improve.
Same here. So today we're going to share what actually works. The techniques that helped us go from struggling learners to confident English speakers. Let's dive in.
Before we start, we want to ask for your support. If these episodes are helping you, if you're learning something valuable, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.
And this is really important. Leave a like on this video. It seems small, but it helps us reach more learners who need this content.
All right, let's talk about study techniques.
Alice, let's start with what doesn't work. Because I think a lot of people are wasting time on ineffective methods.
Oh, absolutely. The biggest mistake I made was focusing only on grammar rules. I would read grammar books, memorize rules, do exercises. And I thought that was studying.
But it didn't help you speak, did it?
Not at all. I could explain the past perfect tense on paper, but in a real conversation, I couldn't use it naturally. My brain couldn't access that knowledge fast enough.
That's because grammar study alone doesn't create fluency. It creates knowledge about the language, not ability to use the language.
Exactly. What about you? What mistakes did you make?
My biggest mistake was passive learning. I would watch English movies or listen to podcasts and think, I'm studying, but I wasn't actively engaging with the material.
Just consuming content without doing anything with it.
Right. I was fooling myself into thinking that exposure alone would make me fluent, but it doesn't work that way.
You have to do something with what you're learning. You have to practice, produce, use it yourself.
Exactly. Another huge mistake people make is trying to learn too many things at once. They're doing vocabulary apps, grammar exercises, watching videos, reading books, all at the same time.
And they end up overwhelmed and burnt out.
Yes, instead of depth, they're getting shallow exposure to everything, and nothing really sticks.
I made that mistake too. I was jumping from one method to another, never giving anything enough time to actually work.
So what changed for you? When did you find techniques that actually work?
The first thing that changed everything for me was understanding the balance between input and output. Let me explain. Input is what you take in. Reading, listening, watching. Output is what you produce. Speaking, writing. Most learners focus way too much on input and not enough on output.
That was definitely my problem. I was consuming so much English content, but I wasn't producing anything myself.
Right? And here's what I learned. You need both. Input gives you the material, the vocabulary, the patterns, but output is what actually builds fluency. Here's the right balance. I try to do about 60% input and 40% output. So if I spend an hour studying, I'll spend 35 to 40 minutes reading or listening, and the rest speaking or writing.
That's really practical. What kind of output do you do?
Speaking to myself is huge. I narrate what I'm doing throughout the day. I have conversations with myself. I know it sounds weird, but it works.
It's not weird at all. I do the same thing. I'll be cooking, and I'll describe what I'm doing out loud in English.
Exactly. And for writing, I keep a daily journal. Just a few sentences about my day, my thoughts, whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect.
The key is consistency, right? Doing it regularly. even if it's just for a few minutes.
Absolutely. 5 minutes of output every day is better than 1 hour once a week.
Let me share the technique that helped me the most: focused repetition, which means instead of trying to learn 50 new words a day, you focus on a small set of words or phrases, and you repeat them in different contexts until they become automatic.
So, quality over quantity?
Exactly. For example, if I learn the phrase I'm thinking about, I'll use it in multiple senses. I'm thinking about my future. I'm thinking about changing jobs. I'm thinking about what to eat.
So you're not just memorizing it, you're actually using it in different ways.
Right. And I'll come back to that phrase the next day and use it again, and the day after that, until it becomes so natural that I don't have to think about it anymore.
That's so much better than learning a word once and never reviewing it.
Exactly. Most people learn something new, move on, and then forget it a week later because they never reinforced it.
So how many phrases or words do you focus on at a time?
Usually about 5 to 10. That's manageable. I can really master those before moving on to the next set.
And you use them in real situations? Not just writing them down.
Yes, that's critical. I try to use them when I'm speaking, when I'm writing, in real conversations if possible. That's what makes them stick.
I love this technique because it's focused and realistic. You're not overwhelming yourself trying to learn everything at once. Here's another technique that transformed my learning. Always learn in context, never in isolation.
What do you mean by that?
I used to learn vocabulary by studying lists of random words, like chair, happy, beautiful, running, just words with no connection to each other.
And that didn't work.
Not at all. Because when you learn words in isolation, you don't know how to actually use them. You don't know what words go together, what situations they're used in.
So, you need context.
Exactly. Now, when I learn a new word, I learn it within a sentence or a story. For example, instead of just learning the word exhausted, I learn it in context. After working all day, I felt completely exhausted.
So you're learning the word plus how it's actually used.
Right? And that makes it so much easier to remember and use later.
I do something similar with phrases. Instead of learning individual words, I learn chunks of language, like it depends on or I'm looking forward to.
Yes, those chunks are how native speakers actually talk. We don't construct sentences word by word. We use these pre-made phrases.
And when you learn phrases as units, your speaking becomes much more fluent because you're not searching for individual words. You're just recalling the whole chunk.
This is why reading and listening to stories is so powerful, because you're getting language in natural context, not in isolation.
Exactly. When you read a book or listen to a podcast, you're seeing how words are actually used in real situations.
And your brain is better at remembering things that are connected to stories and emotions rather than random lists.
Let's talk about active learning, because this is where most self-study goes wrong.
What do you mean by active learning?
Active learning means you're doing something with the material, not just passively consuming it. You're engaging, questioning, practicing, creating.
So watching a TV show in English is passive, but watching it and then summarizing what happened out loud is active.
Exactly, or even better, watching it and then trying to have a conversation about it, either with yourself or with someone else.
What other active strategies do you use?
One of my favorites is shadowing. I'll play an audio clip of a native speaker, and I'll repeat exactly what they say, trying to match their pronunciation, intonation, rhythm.
I love shadowing. It's so effective for improving pronunciation and fluency.
It is, and it's active because you're not just listening, you're producing. You're training your mouth and your brain at the same time.
Another active technique I use is teaching. I'll learn something new, and then I'll try to explain it to someone else, or even just to myself,
Teaching is one of the best ways to learn because it forces you to really understand the material. If you can explain it, you truly know it.
Right? And for writing, instead of just reading something, I'll read a paragraph and then try to write a similar paragraph on a different topic using the same structures.
That's brilliant. You're taking what you learned and applying it creatively.
Exactly. Active learning takes more effort than passive learning, but the results are so much better.
And it doesn't have to be complicated. Even asking yourself questions about what you're reading or listening to is active learning.
Like, why did the character do that? Or, what would I do in this situation?
Yes, anything that makes you think and engage, rather than just mindlessly consuming.
Before we wrap up, let's give our listeners a few final tips for effective self-study.
Number 1. Consistency beats intensity. 30 minutes every day is better than 4 hours once a week.
Number 2, create a routine. Study at the same time every day so it becomes a habit, not a decision you have to make.
Number 3. Track your progress. Keep a journal or a log of what you study so you can see how far you've come.
Number 4, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. If you're not making mistakes, you're not challenging yourself enough.
And number 5. Be patient with yourself. Language learning takes time. There's no shortcut, no magic method, just consistent, smart practice.
That's so important. We live in a world of instant results, but language learning doesn't work that way.
It doesn't, but if you use the right techniques, if you're consistent and patient, you will get there. We promise.
Now we want to hear from you. Go to the comments and tell us what's your biggest challenge with self-studying English.
Is it staying consistent? Is it finding time? Is it not knowing what to focus on? Or maybe something else? Share it with us, because when you write it down, you're taking the first step towards solving it.
And your comment might help someone else who's struggling with the same thing. We're all learning together. We can't wait to read your responses.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope these techniques give you a clear path forward in your English learning journey.
Remember, you don't need expensive courses or perfect methods. You just need the right approach, consistency, and belief in yourself.
Keep showing up, keep practicing, keep growing, keep your English flowing, because every day of smart study is bringing you closer to fluency.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep learning and keep believing in your progress. I hope you have an amazing day. Goodbye.
Take care.